Welcome everybody to the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. I am Josh Amick. A lot more to unpack this week as the weather wasn't as much as a factor. Some great games on the diamond, exciting track meets, and tennis matchups to highlight. So without further ado, let's get into the action from last week that you might have missed. Starting right off with my game of the week was a matchup between rivals Columbia Falls and Whitefish in a back-and-forth baseball game where the Wildcats were able to escape with a 9-8 win at home. The Wildcats jumped out to an early 6-0 lead by the fourth inning, showing tremendous plate discipline as they scored 6 runs without recording a hit, but drew 9 walks and finished with 12 as a team. Whitefish responded in the top of the fourth inning by smacking 6 straight hits to cut the lead to 6-5. The Bulldogs added 3 more in the fifth to take an 8-6 lead before the Wildcats responded with 3 runs of their own, highlighted by Joria Hill's triple to take a 9-8 lead into the final frame. That's when my poster player of the week, Reggie Sapa, stepped up huge for Columbia Falls, striking out 5 of the next 6 batters for the save and left the tying run on third in the 7th inning with no outs and didn't allow any runs to score. It was a great game, and I was happy to be there to cover it and watch both teams fight. Columbia Falls also picked up another win on Monday thanks to Nico Young throwing a 5-inning, 4-hit shutout and Joria Hill adding 2 hits and driving in 2 runs as the Wildcats beat Ronan easily 12-0. Whitefish was able to win their season opener 16-0 against Troy. Avery Caton doubled and tripled for Whitefish, driving in 3 runs, and Luke Dalen and Christian Schwarterer also added 3 RBIs each. After dealing with multiple postponements, Bigfork Baseball finally kicked off their season with an outstanding 18-0 win over Troy on Saturday. Sam Plummer went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs, and Hayden Mayer added 3 RBIs as well. Bigfork added another lopsided win on Monday, beating Knoxon 15-0. Hayden Mayer added another 3 RBIs, and Sam Plummer reached base all 3 times as he is still yet to be put out this season. Moving on to softball, Flathead was a few outs away from their first win of the season Tuesday against Libby before the Loggers fought back to win the game 7-5 after trailing 5-2 heading into the final inning. The 5-run final inning was capped off by Dakota Allen cranking a 3-run home run to give the Loggers the victory. Flathead also dropped the Friday doubleheader to the Helena schools, losing to Helena High 3-0 and Capital 19-9. In the first game, Flathead were held to just 2 hits in the loss as they were without Mackenzie Brandt and Macy McAllergy. The Bravettes' bats got going in Game 2, highlighted by Reese Conley hitting a solo home run and adding on an RBI single. Conley was also responsible for both of the hits in Game 1, including a triple, so shout out to Reese on a great performance in the doubleheader. Glacier split their doubleheader on Friday with the Helena schools, beating Capital 10-0 in a rematch of last year's state AA softball championship before losing to Helena 4-3. In Game 1, Ava Grady hit a 6-inning walk-off home run to give Glacier a 10-0 run rule victory. Taylor Vivian started the scoring with a 2-run single in the first. Later in the first inning, the Wolfpack batted around, led by Alivia Warner doubling to right field and drove in Katie Walczek as Glacier took an easy 8-0 lead in that first. In Game 2, Warner started for the Wolfpack and went 5 innings, allowing 4 runs on 6 hits, and she scored 2 runs herself. The Wolfpack were held to just 3 hits, with Cass Rankowski adding an RBI single. The Class A schools, Bigfork, Columbia Falls, and Whitefish, all had cancellations last week and are expected to return to the schedule this week, so I will highlight you all next week. Moving on to tennis, Sarah Lauren and Ali Goff each picked up single wins Friday as the Bravettes lost 1 tennis duel with Missoula Hellgate and drew with Missoula Sentinel in another. The Braves fell to Sentinel boys 6-2 and Hellgate 8-0. Rowan Alexander and Michael Palmer picked up singles wins for Flathead. For Glacier, Autumn Bashara earned a pair of victories Friday as the Glacier girls split their duels against Missoula Sentinel and Hellgate. Bashara defeated Sentinel's Claire Karlovic as the Wolfpack won 6-2 and downed Hellgate's Shaylin Tullison-Nee in a 5-3 defeat. Carl Bitney and Sam Engelet picked up a doubles win for the boys as they defeated Sentinel 5-3. Hellgate swept the Wolfpack 8-0 in their duels. For Class A schools, Bigfork boys and girls both lost to Polson with identical scores of 6-1 in their respective dual matchups. Whitefish boys down Bigfork Friday 4-0, and the Bulldogs picked up 2 more wins, 4-1 against Ronan and 6-1 against Dillon. Whitefish girls also picked up wins against Ronan and Bigfork, cruising to a 6-0 and 6-0 victories in both matchups. We have come to the final leg of the podcast where we now have to highlight track. Ben Bliven won the 100 and 200, Lane Shivers swept the hurdles, and Williams Hollandsteller won 3 events Friday as the Flathead boys downed Great Falls 81-64 in a track and field duels match at Legend Stadium. The Braves also got wins from Jacob Johnson in the 800, Kaysen Kastner in the 3200, and Orion Sullivan, a sophomore, in the javelin. Alivia Rinehart swept the hurdles for Flathead and helped the Bravettes sweep the relays. Rinehart's time of 14.74 in the 100 hurdles is far and away the best time in state, and her time of 48.33 in the 300s is second in AA. The Glacier boys won 14 of 17 events, and the girls won 12 of 17 events at the track and field duels match with Great Falls CMR held Friday at Memorial Stadium. Ethan Anderson had another banner day for the boys, winning the 200 in a personal record 23.03 seconds and took the 110-meter hurdles in 15.09. Mark Honor and Spencer Hodge also won twice. Honor won the 300 hurdles and high jump, and Hodge took the 100 meters and long jump. Dylan Smith had a top mark for the pack, throwing 159 feet 11 inches to win the discus. The meet, which wasn't scored, also saw Glacier girls get wins from Brianna Barnes in the 100 meters and pole vault and both relays. Barnes is tied for the top vault in AA, and 8 more Wolfpack girls added victories in their events. Jack Phelps picked up big points in the sprints and won the 200 in a Class A leading 22.84 seconds Friday. Isaac Soyland and Lane Voymans led a push in the field events that helped Columbia Falls outpoint defending state champion Corvallis 82-72 for the boys team title at the Hamilton Invitational. Track meets have a ton of events, so if you want to see the full results, head on over to athletic.net to catch up on anything I might have missed, as there's plenty of events and plenty of winners in each meet. That is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. We'll be back next week to highlight more sporting events from the spring. And until then, we'll see you all next week. Take care. Thanks to Corwin Motors for sponsoring the Keeping Score podcast. At Corwin Motors, they're proud to be family-driven for over 100 years. Their commitment goes beyond selling cars. They're dedicated to serving our community and providing you with the highest quality vehicles to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're searching for reliability, style, or comfort, they got you covered. They understand that you rely on their website for accurate and up-to-date information, and it's their promise to deliver relevant, detailed content that meets your needs. So if you're in the market for a new Chevrolet or just want to learn more, visit CorwinMotorsKalispell.com.